Welcome to Both Sides of the Mic. This is October 1st. Is it October 1st?
Yes, it is.
Yep, thank you. Lose track of time. Anyhow, this week our guest caller on the hot seat here is Hanna, and we have Lars there to keep her honest. Yes.
That's going to be a
has-
tough job to
he
do.
may, he may have some stuff that she's forgotten about. So most people, the first thing they want to know, of course, is like, how did you get into square dancing and square dance calling and everything else? So, uh, my first question is, do you remember your first kiss?
Yeah, I think Mom gave it to me.
I mean, of a boy.
You didn't specify. You didn't
Lars,
specify.
Lars, you want to close your ears right now? I think we're going to have a
No, you
tell-all.
didn't.
Yes, I thought that was a good question. Anyhow, apparently not.
Oh, I thought it was good.
I thought it was good, yes. And can you remember his name?
I'm disappointed you never asked the male callers those questions.
I know. Well, towards the end of this, Brian, we have to find out some tell-off from you. Yeah. So okay. Well, then let's go to the next great question.
My mom's name was Frida.
Frida?
Frida?
Yeah, my mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
your
your
mom.
mom. Oh, yeah. Well, we cannot say that. No. I was thinking about the first,
I know.
licentious. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, I don't even remember the name.
Lars is sitting right next to her. She doesn't want to answer that.
Maybe we should ask Lars about his.
I can tell you a thing about having a first crush on somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had a first crush on my teacher from gymnastics.
Oh,
Like every girl in the school.
wow. Was that
Many years ago in Poland, and he was tall and he was very handsome. And then my family left, and my dad decided to locate in Sweden, and it took a couple of years before I came back to Poland to visit my friends. And by then he was short and he was big.
Oh, Lordy, yeah. Well, in Sweden, everybody's beautiful there. Good God.
Yeah.
Makes the rest of us people around the world jealous. Okay, I gotta let Carrie in, and he's gonna want a bunch of things. I should make somebody a co-host here. Let me just quickly go in. I'm gonna make. Whoops, my screen's jumping all around. Hannah, I'm gonna make you the co-host just in case my internet goes belly up. And just a minute, I'm gonna just give Carrie multi-pinning and recording. Where's recording here? Record. Allow to record. There you go. Okay. Anyhow, then let's go on to another question. Equally stupid. Maybe not. But when was the last time you were really scared?
Maybe this night when we were driving back from Norway, and I felt like somebody was coming very fast out on the highway. But that was just a split second of a time. Really scared.
When you got a black eye?
When I got a black eye a month ago, maybe.
Oh my God. Whoa, okay. No, it didn't happen on the dance floor then. Okay.
No, it didn't, but it was quite funny when I appeared at the dance floor with that black eye. I just don't understand why people always look at the person in my company.
Yes. So, Lars, when did you get out of jail?
You,
Oh, Lordy.
you said stand up instead of shut up.
Yeah. Okay, well let's get on to the real crux of the matter here. We know both sides of the mic here. We're going to go back and forth between uh, square dance calling and personal private affairs. I shouldn't say the word affairs. Anyhow, um, things. So how did you get into square dancing?
Um, well, I was horseback riding back then, and in the club where I was horseback riding, there was a note on our board saying, "Come and square dance with us." And I think I was passing that board for like 2 years, and always thinking when I saw that note that it looks interesting, I should try that sometimes. But I didn't know what that was, square dancing was. So once we had a party in our club, and the square dancers came and had a demo, and it looked really interesting and fun to look at. And then somebody just took me up, and I tried to dance, and then I was hooked.
Super. Yep, that's the way to do it. Um, Success must have been a good caller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nice dancers around also. That is also important.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And also I was in a place where I knew all the people, except for the square dancers, of course.
Yeah.
And I was never afraid to make an ass of myself, if I say like that. So I didn't, many people are afraid to get up because they don't know it. They don't want to look foolish. I never care about that.
Okay.
If I want to try something.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna run my microphone up a little bit. How that better? Good. Okay. Um, so the caller was saying he was good. Was he as good looking as the gymnast teacher?
Well, a few years later, he looked.
He looked the same, did he? As callers, we all look that way eventually.
But he later became my teacher. He was the one that taught me to dance.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
great. Great.
Mm.
So how long did you square dance before you got behind the mic yourself?
I think it was 2 years, not fully 2 years. And the reason I got behind the mic was not my idea; it was the club's idea, because we needed callers. So my ambition was not to become a caller.
You drew the short straw, did you?
It was
Yes.
really scary to me.
You couldn't say no. Lordy.
No, they said, please just try it. You might like it. And you know how it is, pressure.
Yeah, right. Can't say no.
And
So-
how long ago was this?
Yeah.
I started dancing in 95, so 97 I started to call.
Okay. And where was Lars all this time?
He was actually at the square dance floor. It was there that we met.
Not 30 years. I had 1.5 year not
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah, Lars started dancing in 88,
88.
but he had a break during those years that I started to
Yeah.
dance and call.
Mhm.
And then he came back.
Oh, yes. So, Carrie asked, he said, did you like calling immediately or it was something that you had to work at?
I had to work at that very hard, just like with the dancing, because my teacher was a very good teacher, but he only taught by definitions. And I didn't learn like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a tough thing for me the first year. It was like, Hanna, turn around. Hanna, go over to that. Everybody knew my name at least. But funny thing is that later on, I turned my difficulties into something useful when I started to teach myself. Because I was put myself on the floor and I was thinking, okay, he said the right hand dancer, and I didn't know what that was.
Oh,
So when I teach, I really try to be there with the dancers and explain
Yeah.
even the things that people think you should know.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's we take it for granted that people know certain things, and we can't do that. We really can't.
But to me, it was like right-hand dancers from his point of view, or is it in the couple? So I had like issues like that. Maybe not very, very smart issues, but still.
Well, it's good to learn it from that aspect. Too many people, I think too many callers just assume that the dancers know way more than they know, because and as a result, they call a little too hard. They teach too hard. You know, even if you're doing C4, Eva will say, we need to practice a particular color, a concept. You can't just say, well, this is how it's done, and then they know it. No, it doesn't work that way, does it?
Not for everybody, anyway. We all
No,
differently.
no, you can't take it for granted. So
That was my first lesson.
what characteristic in people do you dislike?
The worst thing for me is when people are not honest.
Have you ever told a lie?
Yes, I have to make people feel better.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. And I might lie a little bit here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Just a wee bit. Um, let's see. What the heck is this? I can't read my own writing. Type. So what kind of halls do you have to dance in Sweden? What do you dance in schools or churches or?
Not really exclusively. We have some clubs that do that, but in our club we have something that we call the People's House, which is a gathering house for anybody who wants to have some bigger event or some classes like we have. What else can we say?
Well, yeah, yeah, it's quite good hall, good floor.
Often quite expensive as well.
Mm. And what kind of equipment are you using?
Different kind of equipment in different places. Some have produced them themselves, but we use Hilton.
Most often it's a Hilton 150.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That helps. And do you have a favorite call?
Never thought about it like that. I like the longer calls.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like a call that is not on the list.
Oh, just any old call or a particular call that's not on the list?
I think I read it someplace many, many years ago, and it kind of stuck with me. It was called Rotary Teacup Chain.
Oh yeah.
I love the idea of everybody moving at the same time, and if you look at it and it works really nice, it's the best call to have at the demo or something like that.
Oh yeah. Scare the people right off, eh?
No, it's you scare the people anyway. Any call you call.
I can see Eva's mind thinking Rotary Teacup Chain. Let's see. See, because Rotary has a life of its own at the challenge level. So right pole by, center step to a left-hand wave and do the anything call. So there
almost
they are trying to teacup chain.
almost how it starts because if you have a normal setup, the ladies are doing the all four ladies center teacup chain, but the men are going the other way, like to their left, to their corner's
Okay.
place.
Yeah.
A quarter every move. So
Oh yeah.
they do that 4 times.
Oh yeah.
And it's really interesting, but it totally changes the picture for the right hand dancer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool.
Although, yeah, it is a cool call. Otherwise, I don't know. I like them all.
Yeah. They're all great. Uh, oh, so when you got started in calling, who helped you?
Well, that's a good question. I really didn't have a mentor that helped me. There was somebody chosen from the club to help me, but I cannot say that I got very much help from that guy.
Hmm.
Um, he gave me the microphone maybe when somebody from the board came to visit. Otherwise, I was standing beside him, looking and listening to what he was doing, and I didn't learn much from that.
Hmm.
Oh, my
Okay.
beginning was quite difficult. I was a slow starter.
Yeah, but you have some color training.
No, I actually not until I started to call with a girl, and we
Okay.
kept stick together all the time.
Hmm.
And I was looking up to her. She was much younger than me, but she was doing a great job, and I tried to listen in and do what she was doing. She was very good in teaching, especially in teaching.
Hmm. Well, that's good because too many people think they're great teachers and they don't. You know, all they're doing is telling and they're not teaching. So, did you get to go to a caller school at all, or
Yeah, I
workshops?
finally decided to go because I felt I really owned that to the dancers.
Ah, yes. Well, you
I
didn't.
was,
You didn't listen to Brian Hotchkiss or anything, did you?
no, I didn't know
No.
him then.
I wanted to get that in because he'll be looking at this YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's a really nice, good friend. A good,
Yeah. You don't want to tell the rest of the folks about him being naked at the last at our last video.
yeah, he's so funny. He can do stuff that nobody else can get away with, but he
Yes.
can.
Uh, yeah. Great to have people like that. You know, we all need to be that way. We all need to uh, not be too stuffy. Um, don't
True.
take ourselves too seriously, because you're gonna
We
fall
all
someday.
we all should have that child in us that he has.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I think he started reverting back about age 75. Rather than getting older, he's going back the other way.
And he's been
Um,
calling for what is it, 62 years?
yeah, he's even older than me. It's amazing. I didn't think there was anybody in the world older than Dirt. Uh, but here we are. So, what did you, or are you still working a regular job like a normal person?
Well, I'm a medical secretary,
Okay.
and I still work a little, well, quite a lot actually, but mostly over internet these days.
Oh, yeah. Super.
That gives me the possibility to plan my day differently, gives me more freedom, but much less sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're calling, that's for sure. Brian can tell you that. I'm sure you've hit the road many times. I know I used to finish when I first started. I was teaching school, and I get out of school around 4 o'clock, run home, get a sandwich, and then drive off into a dance for a class. Get home about 1 o'clock in the morning, back up at 6. It was just every day of the week. That's why I
Yeah,
finally gave up teaching. Uh, I needed sleep. uh, Career comedy. Um, yeah. And Lars, are you retired?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I am. I play golf most of the time. I mean, dance.
Ah. So, and how did you and I would ask Hannah this, but mm,
Yeah.
she's only going to lie. How did you meet?
good choice. Lars is painfully honest.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, how did you meet?
The
You.
question is
No, it's
yours.
you.
No, he said
No,
Lars.
no, no.
Yes, it is for
Love at
you.
first sight, that kind of thing?
Well, we danced in the same club,
Yeah.
and she had a beginner's class, and I started to be an angel there.
Did she stalk you?
Yes,
Yeah. Robbing
but
the cradle.
she was very, very shy.
Oh my. And you took advantage of that, didn't you? Yes.
So, no,
We
no.
we understand. Lordy. So what do you like TV shows or would you rather go to a movie?
The TV is always on when I work, although my ears are busy because I am listening to the doctors, but the picture's on. And I love going to the movies, only we don't have much time going to the movies. But it's a special atmosphere in a movie theater that is not at home.
Yeah.
So I guess movies.
Yeah. That's good. I think the last movie I saw was in Scotland, I think, in Edinburgh, Ghostbusters. So that tells you
Oh,
how long ago that was.
mm.
Um, but
We
yeah,
saw a movie
go ahead.
quite recently, but I don't remember the title of it. It was about uh, like a vad heter biography
Biography.
over a writer that survived the Second World War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So in books, then, do you like historical fiction or
When
do
I
you?
yeah, I used to like movies, a good uh, comedy, but it has to be a good, not a silly one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And historical movies, yes.
yeah. Good.
Biographies.
And have you ever acted yourself or been on stage for that kind of a thing?
When I was a little girl in Poland, I did. I was chosen to do a movie. Back then, it was a lot of things about the war.
Hmm.
It was still so. So I was chosen for a little, like half an hour short film about Jewish people, Jewish children being gassed. It was a terrible story.
Wow, that'd be
And
traumatic.
yeah, I do remember that.
Hoi. So, do you have any pets? Dogs, cats,
We
cows?
have other people's pets.
you, you don't like people that lie, but you don't mind people that steal.
No, it's because we travel quite a lot, so it's difficult to have a pet. But
Yeah,
when a friend is asking, "Oh, are you home? We
yeah,
need to go away," then of course we. So we
yeah.
have pets and we have dogs and birds. And
Gee. Suppose if you went to Australia, you'd have to take care of Brian's cockatoos.
yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
only have one left.
Oh, does he? Oh, must be heartbroken.
Yeah.
Okay. How about cars? Are you a car fanatic
No, I'm not.
or
I like to.
motorcycles? Yeah,
I like to have a car that goes.
yeah. Those are kind of the nice kind. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we have friends that like all kind of cars, and
yeah,
it's fascinating.
yeah.
But the price of gas in our place is such that you need to think economically when you choose car.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Growing up, that used to be our treat. Would on a date or anything else, you drive. You
Yeah,
went to the countryside and just drove around. That was our pastime, but not anymore. So
we
how?
always had quite big prices on the gas. But I specifically remember one time many years ago when we were visiting the States and
Mhm.
we rented a car and we were moving up to put some gas in that car and there was a guy standing there and he was screaming something and we felt it was very strange, a guy screaming. There was nobody else in close by. And when we got closer, we heard what he was saying, and he was screaming, "Rape, rape!" And we looked around and we were really worried. And then when Lars got out from the car, he said, "Did you see the prices of the gas? It's rape."
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different definition than I've heard in the past, but what the heck? Oh, Lordy. So how long you guys been married?
Well,
Or maybe you're not married. I shouldn't ask that question. How long
the
have you
question,
been together?
the question should be, are you married? Well, we moved it. We have different versions on that one.
Oh,
But we moved in together 2004.
okay. Smart move. Yeah. For
Yes,
Lars, yeah.
yeah, we are happy. He's such a good guy.
Yeah. Yep. Um, so how would your friends describe you?
Don't look at me.
Oh, you're not her friend, no.
You're not my
Not quite.
friend?
Yes, but I'm not going to answer.
I don't know. Well, I am a dedicated friend. So if I really am friends with somebody, that's 100% friend.
Okay. That's
And I hope my friends know that, all of them.
um so I guess you're an introvert off the mic, but on the mic, do you come alive? Do you feel like you come alive on the mic?
Well, I surprised myself by saying things that, wow, I would never have done back when I started calling.
Oh, yes.
So I guess it gets better. But I have a terrible stage fright still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Many of us do. Um,
Not Brian, I asked him.
no, Brian, we won't go there. Um, but speaking of Brian, was taking a page out of his book. Hannah, have you have you done karaoke?
I think once or twice in my life, yes.
Oh, more.
More?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times.
And were you successful, sort of? Did they ask you to come back or to stay away?
Oh, not that kind of karaoke, just someplace smaller.
Just fun to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, did you like school?
I liked some of the teachers. I think that the teachers are the ones that makes school likable or not likable.
Hmm.
So back in Poland, I had this gym teacher
Go ahead, tell us.
that I liked, although I didn't like gyms at all. But after moving to Sweden, my first years in Sweden were tough because I was looking different than the other kids. I had different clothes and stuff like that. Made me a target for some kids, and that was not so nice.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess we always want to fit in, whether it's in school or amongst others.
Yeah. You
Do
know,
you?
Swedish children, at least the girls in my class, they had all straight hair, and I was like, oh, that's the reason for hating me.
Oh,
The
yeah.
boy like to
Yeah, they did that. Yeah.
So, musically, do you play an instrument?
Um, I started to play piano many years ago because my parents chose that for me. But
No. Okay.
again, if I had a good teacher, maybe I would stay with it. But it was like, no, you did wrong there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why we go to school to learn how to teach music. We learn how big of a stick to carry and how to, how to hit without breaking bones, just hard enough to hurt. Uh, so what's your biggest pet peeve? in general about anything.
What does that mean, Eve?
Oh, pet peeve. Um, oh, how would you explain that? Oh, jump right in, folks. Um, Pet peeve is like someone who always has to be right, or they monopolize the conversation, or they don't say anything, and you can't, you know, it's something that irritates you.
Oh, okay. Well, Lars,
What is she
I
always
think
on to you about, Lars?
Well, she hate lazy drivers,
no.
slow drivers.
That's good.
No, but when somebody breaks into when I'm talking and somebody's breaking in all the time and doesn't let me talk, or other people doesn't let other people talk to the end, that irritates me. If it
Okay.
happens often.
Yeah, I just cut you off. Well, I have a knock knock joke you would like then. You may have to play it later to understand it, but um, we'll do the knock knock joke, okay? Here we go. Knock knock.
Is there?
Interrupting cow.
Okay.
Moo. And for those who don't quite understand that, what happens is as soon as a person tries to say interrupting cow who, that's you interrupt them with the moo. That's okay. I learned that from a 6-year-old, by the way. No, I learned it from my younger brother, who is not 6 years old now. Um, but our 6-year-old granddaughter loves loves that joke. Uh, Anyhow, well, we won't pick on like the negative side of things. Um, do
Yeah.
you consider yourself somewhat of a positive person?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm always looking to find positive things in people.
Even if things are going wrong and whatever, you can say, well, it could be worse.
Well, I do try to tell myself that. And most often I think, well, maybe if somebody does something that upsets me, and I would tell myself, maybe they didn't meant to do it like that. Maybe it was a mistake. So I give people a couple of chances before I think, well, it's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Understandable. So if you could have a superpower like X-ray vision, um, able to leap buildings in a single bound, stuff like that, um, what kind of superpower would you choose?
Maybe being able to fly.
Ah, I like that one. Yeah. Without an airplane, you mean? And without substance involved? Um,
Fly. and and also how to land, because when I was little I always had the dream that I was flying, but I didn't know how to land.
yeah, that's a good part of the flying lessons.
Yeah.
So if you're writing your autobiography, um, what would the title be?
When I grew up, maybe.
Okay.
I had a very sheltered life until late age, I might say.
Oh, really?
And then I meet some people that were not good.
So did you hang out with the wrong crowd at all?
No, I hang out in the beginning with my family, my friends from Poland, and everybody was in the same situation. Everybody was good to each other, and
Ah.
then I was exposed to another kind of life.
Oh, really? Wow. Um, so what does your last name mean, Tannenbaum? Is that Christmas tree?
Now,
No.
Tannenbaum is a Christmas tree with an A,
Oh,
Tannenbaum.
okay.
And I used to be married to another guy for many, many years, and that is his name.
Oh, okay.
I never changed back to my own, and my own is Bongard, or almost like Bogart, but
Oh,
Bongard. Yeah,
okay. So, so it's a Polish name then, obviously.
Polish
Yeah.
Jewish.
Jewish?
Have,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
haven't you seen the movie Royal Tenenbaums?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you guys know the movie, the Royal Tenenbaums? No? So when they started to show it in our cinemas, I thought, well, I should go and see that movie. And I told the guy, just kidding with him, that you should let me in for free because this is my name. And he said, ha ha. And then I showed him my ID, and it was my name, so I actually got in for free.
Did you? Oh my gosh. Oh, Lord, that's great. Well, my background
Oh,
is German, and nobody knows what my name means. Everybody guesses.
What does it mean?
Um, well, Ubelacker, it's either upper land or evil land acres. So
Mhm.
I'm either royalty or I'm a criminal, evil. So I like to think it's the royalty. I think my parents stole me from my real parents, the king and queen, the king and queen of whatever. So, did you ever have that feeling that you were really actually born a princess and someone's been lying to you all this time?
I wish.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy. So, what kind of embarrassing things have happened to you on the microphone or, on the floor?
Well, my mouth is saying things sometimes without my brain being attached. And somehow sounds so much worse on the floor than it does in my head. But I always state that it's because the Swedish language has two little words, and the same word means many things.
Uh, well, I can't imagine how any of you have learned the English language as another language. I mean, it's, us regular English speaking people, we have a hard enough time with the language as it is. But I was just listening to myself yesterday, and I was thinking, someone that doesn't speak the language would have a heck of a time understanding what I'm talking about because we cut things short and butcher the language so tremendously. I don't know how you do that. Um,
Well, if you are Polish, you have to because nobody is learning Polish
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
or Swedish.
Lordy. Let's go into the have you ever's before we lose track of that. Um, so, have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
I don't think so. I can't remember doing it.
I'm
Not,
afraid.
not, not even in a sidecar or
No, a moped. I
a
used to own a,
moped? Okay.
yes.
Well, that's close. Two wheels,
Yeah.
It's
And now
just
I
a.
have an L scooter,
Oh
electric.
yes.
Yeah. That's the one that gave me the black eye.
Oh, stay away from those scooters. Wow.
No, I
So
love it.
yeah, yeah, they're fun. They're fun to do. Have you ever jumped out of an airplane?
Oh no, good no.
No.
God gracious. No.
You wouldn't want to do that?
No, I'm kind of afraid of heights.
Well, are you really afraid of heights or are you just afraid of dying?
Um, I
I
used to
mean,
be very, very afraid of dying, but that
mhm.
is not so anymore.
Yeah, yeah. You get older, it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I figured out with the airplanes and the heights. I always wanted to fly a plane, and I finally did. Um, but I realized what the fear was. It wasn't the fear of floating around in the air. It was the fear of the landing, like you
Yeah,
say.
could be. We
With your
act. Lars son is he flies. How do you call? He flies
Flies airplanes without motors, sailing. I don't know. I don't know the English name, but it's airplanes without motor, no engine.
It's
Oh, the glider.
gliders.
That's
yeah,
right.
gliders.
Glider, yeah.
So I did get up and was a passenger with Lars' son.
Wow.
And you had never been so quiet. It's a long time.
Okay. Uh,
But it was a wonderful feeling. It was so quiet
isn't
and
it? Yeah.
peaceful. It was a special feeling.
Until you have to come and land. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Hmm.
Have you ever flown in a hot air balloon?
No, but I could perhaps do it if I had
It's
the possibility.
well, Lars. There you go. Next anniversary of meeting up or whatever. Any excuse. It is a tremendous uh, feeling. It's even better than the glider
Wow.
because you can control the landing. Um,
Yeah.
have you ever scuba dived?
Yes, I did on the Fiji Islands,
Oh,
but it was not, it was very more like diving deeply under the water.
yeah. Not scary to go way down without being able.
No,
No.
not that much,
Huh.
actually. It was amazing to see the underwater world.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Um, of course, you've ridden a horse. Did you do what kind of horse riding did you do? Was it like show riding, jumping?
No, it was just when I started to jump, I did later on. Then I fell off the horse, but the first years I never did. Because we had a guy here from the States who married a Swedish woman and he had horses. So he had something called American kind of horseback riding,
Western.
Wow.
Western kind of horseback riding, and that was what I was into.
Hmm. Um, do you wish
And
you were
also,
taller?
well, not anymore because it's really practical if you're flying and you have narrow seats and little. Lars is tall. That's what I say. Not anymore. I'm satisfied with my length. I see him on the airplane sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And having a tall person in your home is easy because I don't need to take out the ladder. I have Lars.
Yeah, you got Lars. It brings to mind so many things. Go get the Lars. I want to. I can't reach it. Go get
Yeah.
Lars. Okay. Um, we've pretty well covered that one. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Beer or mixed drinks?
None.
None. Okay. What was your? Oh, what are you not good at? Is there something that you sort of would like to be better at, but you just I know one thing you're working on, and
I'm working on
should I have you
it.
do a demonstration right now?
Oh, wow. No, I'm
No.
trying to learn how to yodel.
See, I think even the way you say yodel is a great accomplishment. It sounds so musical and melodic. Um,
Well, I did discover the break in my voice and then I played a little bit with it, but that's not yodeling in my world. It should be a
no,
little bit.
not yet. I understand that you've taken lessons from a very world famous, great, wonderful, good looking teacher.
Yes, yes, and I still do, I hope.
Yeah,
And he has a name he goes by, and that's Yodeling Joe.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Lordy, we'll get you there. Well, actually, for the rest of you, Hannah has what it takes. She just needs to get up to the higher register for her singing, and she's able to she's the first person I've known who can do a bass yodel. Like I can't I can't do that. She can go yodel hee hoo, and her break is very very good that way. So
I used to sing in a choir some years ago, and I was singing with the guys because I had quite low voice.
yeah, we never did explore how high you can sing with your regular voice, but we'll get to that eventually. So, so from childhood, I think all of us, hopefully all of us, have a great memory of something that happened that was really made us feel really good or we are proud of or whatever. Do you have something like that?
From childhood.
Yeah, like getting a bicycle or a pair of shoes.
We were quite poor. I actually don't have that.
No?
I didn't know you.
Did you know your grandparents at all? Like, did they
Um,
enter? No?
no family. My mom had very tragic life story.
Oh,
So she was an orphan when she was 3 years old.
oh my gosh.
And my dad, well, he lost everybody except one brother
Oh, yeah,
in the war. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. How about in later life as an adult then? Other than being able to call square dancing.
I do remember when we moved to Sweden that I felt so different because all my friends had grandparents and I didn't even know the meaning of the word because back home everybody was the same, so nobody talked about it.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be.
I have wonderful memories from square dancing, though.
Ah, that's good.
Some really nice friends.
Do you have any of those friends from way back still?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Oh,
I
that's
do.
great. That's great. I, I never had any friends.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. You, the Zoom family here, you're my friend. Well, maybe I don't know. Um, um,
people say that it's difficult to befriend somebody when you're not so young anymore. But I think that it depends on the people.
oh yeah, yeah,
You can still make friends. Doesn't matter. It just has to be the person that is within your range of what you call friends.
yeah. You have to have some respect, some reason to respect them as a worthwhile human being, eh?
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't know. You know, some people have a lot of friends, and I use the air quotes for that. What it is, they know a lot of people, and a lot of people know them, but are they
Yeah.
truly friends? You know, are they the kind of person you could call at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, you know, my hand's stuck in the spaghetti maker. Can you come help me?" Um,
That's what I also call good friends. And you
yeah,
don't have too many of those, but those you have, they are really good friends.
yeah, valuable.
Well, I believe Lars would be handling that if she
I
had her
have,
hands stuck in the
Yeah,
spaghetti maker.
That's true. Yeah,
I was just thinking on how to solve it.
Well, first you'd have to stop him from laughing, and then
yeah,
second, then he would help out.
yeah. Oh, lordy. Yeah, there's not a lot of sympathy here, you know, I've noticed.
if I were my other friends, I would say, how on earth did you get there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, lordy. Well, um, so what sort of things along the square dance line, like, well, for instance, what are some of your favorite singing calls?
Right now, I'm into the new um, label that Shauna and Wade produced. It's the
Shade.
Shade. I like the name of it.
Oh yeah.
Shade for Shauna and Wade. And there is a song that is called Fight Song. It's a modern song, and I had to Google it because I didn't know the song at all. And it is challenging to me. I find it very difficult to learn, but I am not giving up. I'm going to learn it.
Undercover.
But otherwise, he also produced a Leonard Cohen song, and Leonard Cohen being one of my very favorite singers or poets. And the other song, because one is Hallelujah, that was produced by two labels, and this song is produced by Shade. It's Dance Me to the End of Love.
I'll write that one down.
And first, when I listened to it, I thought, how on earth can I call to that song? How do I put the calls into it? But I tried it, and it's really nice. It works fine. So this is right now my
Your favorite?
most, yes, right now it is, but it changes.
And it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And Lars says Mississippi. I miss Mississippi and you. That's another.
that Mississippi.
Eva is showing me. Wow, is Leonard Cohen your favorite singer too?
Yes,
Eva?
I started listening to him 1967.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
I have all
Wow.
CDs.
No kidding. Wow.
Wow.
You see, there's
Yeah.
a great example from the caller's standpoint. The guy is not a real singer the way you think of singers. Kind of like a George Burns, a talker almost, but or Willie Nelson even. They're not true technical vocalists. But they sound so good. Their phrasing is so good. It's a personality thing, and
Well,
like,
he's amazing mostly because he's Canadian.
oh yes, that's true too. I'm a displaced American up here in Canada, so I have to, I have to agree. Yeah,
He's amazing.
yeah. I love that sort of sound. I don't know what it is. It's just so relaxing, and even when it's
Yes.
a soul breaking kind of a song, it just makes you feel like, yeah, that's what it's all
The
about.
lyrics he wrote, the
Oh yeah.
lyrics are so deep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're very meaningful. Um,
Yeah.
Actually, if you go back to Daryl Clendenin's record label, Chinook, he has quite a few singing calls that have really great lyrics, very meaningful too. I have a number of those, but I like those songs. As a dancer, I
Me
like
too.
them. If the arrangement is good, like Chic label is doing beautiful music, backgrounds and whatnot. So, of course, I like big band sound an awful lot in the old tunes. It's it's a function of age. So, so have you done any festivals or conventions that are special in your memories?
We just came back from Norway. I called yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, we drove all night to get home. And it was, well, anytime it is a long dance, like 6, 7 hours long, it kind of scares me because you need a lot of material to cover that. Here we don't make long breaks between tips, and we don't have any other things going on between tips, so we call almost all the time. So it was 3 hours calling before there was a break. But I really liked the dance and the people. The atmosphere was wonderful, and I felt good about it. It's not always I feel good about doing it.
Uh,
And and because that is the closest to my mind right now. But I have done 2 conventions in Sweden
Oh yeah.
The state convention in
and the
Texas.
state convention in Alabama
In Texas.
and Texas,
Oh, yeah.
national in Alabama. Yeah,
In
but
Texas. Ah.
yeah, not
The state convention.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I lost my voice just previous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. I know that. I think it
So
was.
I changed some lyrics in the songs and I was speaking them.
Yeah, you have to pretty much. That's when
I
you sound
couldn't.
like Leonard Cohen, huh?
I sound like that before getting problems with the voice. I did actually had a surgery on my vocal cords
Oh.
at one point, and it went okay. And then I had to, well, almost had to had another surgery, but I decided not to do it because it was very risky.
Oh. Good grief. Well. So what method do you use for calling patter? Are you a sight caller or reading or?
I can't read. I wish I could read because that could take away the pressure from my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm lousy at reading. If I
Oh.
read, I get to look at the people dancing. So no. Yeah, I taught myself how to side call because that was how I started, and bad habits are not really easy to break. But I discovered that along the calling that some things stuck in my mind anyway, so I can I make stations and then I have get outs from those stations, so I can
Okay.
call more freely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
But for long dance, it's difficult. I don't know how people do it when they stand on stage like 6, 7 hours calling nonstop like that. Wow.
Experience, it's.
I have to ask Brian Clark, when you called, did you call that many hours without stopping?
Yes,
How did
it was crazy. And not only did I do that, but I was calling at the Ericsson Festival, which was basic through C2.
Oh my.
And I wasn't really a C2 caller at the time. Dave Wilson had asked me to fill in. I was actually filling in for Ann Ubelacker at the time because she had an abscessed tooth and she couldn't fly. And so he called me on the Wednesday and asked if I wanted to call in Sweden. And I said, "Oh, sure. When do you want me to do that?" And he says, "Oh, you'll be flying out of Seattle tomorrow."
Oh my God.
So I had to drive to Seattle and then get on a plane and fly to Sweden through Schiphol. But it was so much fun. But Dave gave me a lot of warning. He goes, "This is going to be the most amount of work you've ever done." Because every hall that you go into, the only time you have a break is when you're going from one hall to the other. And he goes, figure out your bathroom breaks somewhere between there, because otherwise you won't really have a break. And sometimes, yeah, it was tough because there was a lot of calling that you had to do. And I was even surprised. I was sure that there was going to be, maybe a couple hours for dinner, but no, there was like maybe a 20-minute break where we were able to, inside the hall, they were selling hot dogs, and so I was able to have a hot dog for dinner. But yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was certainly a lot of fun. But as far as material goes, I've got, well, at the time I was probably, I don't know, I had been calling for about 20 some odd years. So I had a lot of experience under my belt. So it wasn't much of a problem for me to call a ton of different material. So it wasn't too bad. I think the most difficult hall that I called in was the basic hall because I didn't have a lot of experience calling basic. And while I was there, it was the first time ever that I called one tip of basic, and then when I was finished, there were Swedish dancers who came up to me after the tip to tell me which calls I hadn't called yet. Um, because I didn't use all 53 calls, and they gave me a list of the calls that I hadn't used yet, and could I use them during the next tip?
Oh
And I
my God.
thought, wow, that's interesting. It was very, very fun. But when I thought that calling the C2 would be difficult, but what Dave Wilson told me to do was pick like 4 or 5 C2 calls and just study those, figure out what you can do with those, and add those into some C1 material. And so I did that. And he says the C2 dancers won't even notice that you're not calling full C2. So, and it worked. And and they also only gave me one session of C2. So I had 1 hour of C2 that I had to do, which was basically 4 tips. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, but as I say, the pressure was calling basic because I hadn't called a lot of basic at that point. There isn't a lot of basic clubs here that do that.
Eva?
Which year was this?
I believe it was might have been either 2000 or 2002, maybe.
Because I remember those Ericsson festivals that they don't even call basic, they call half basic, just to have the new dancers coming in.
I recall what they called it was MS53.
Yeah, I know,
So
but that's basic for us.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was given the list of 53 calls that I could call in that hall. And as I say, it was difficult because at the time I hadn't called a lot of basic. So, but it was fun. It was fun. And as I say, it was interesting because they wanted me to do things that I hadn't called off the list yet. And one of them was dive through. And so I gave them a dive through that they had never seen before. I had facing lines of 4. I said heads make an arch and everybody dive through. So you do the dive through, and then the heads have the arch, so they do the California twirl at the end. So you end up with 2 face lines when you're done. And it was kind of fun. And they were like, "Wow, first time we ever saw that." So it was good.
Yeah.
The difficulties for non-European callers might be that your first level is mainstream, not basic. So sometimes it's
Correct.
difficult to keep track of the calls from mainstream, and you blend it into basics, and our dancers don't know how to do those.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. If you're teaching the different levels, it's not so bad, but if you're not teaching each level that you're calling, it is difficult to remember what's on what's list. Yeah,
Well, a
remembering.
couple years later, I got another phone call asking if I would fill in for Anne. It was from Stefan Moring. He asked if I could fill in for Anne for the New Year's weekend. And the New Year's weekend it's a C3A weekend, and I don't do C3A. The most I ever did was C2, and even then, the C2 stuff that I did when I was calling at IPAC, I had it all pre-written, and I wasn't going to do any more than what I had written. And so Stefan just says to me, he goes, oh, he goes, no problem. He goes, just study on the plane. It's like, that's not how it works.
Oh my. No, it isn't. That's for sure. There's the part that I love so much about the higher challenge levels are the concepts anyhow. To me that was what really gives it personality, and we can use that stuff down at the mainstream level. There's no reason why we can't do as couples, and tandem, and even Siamese. I mean, it's all on how you present the material. If you do a good job at it, it's amazing what you can get done. You just have to make sure that the floor is receptive to that kind of stuff. But yeah, my first time in Germany was brutal because I changed, of course, back in the day of records, and I finished my first tip, the singing call, and thank you partner, thank you corner. I turn around to change my records, and as soon as I put it on, I look around because I wanted to look at the floor a little bit, and they're already squared up, but they're all changed corners and costumes and all that. How do I keep track of my corner? Boy, I was lucky I knew how to use modules. So they said, "Yeah, well, you tired? Not, not yet." So yeah, so yeah, the biggest thing, of course, when you're doing long things like that, is keep pouring some nice liquid. Use some warm liquids to get the blood sticking around your vocal cords. A saltwater rinse is really, to me, is really great. Stay away from dairy products, milk, stuff like that gives you that phlegm. Um, but it's interesting that you would have that background in calling long tips or even your just a regular dance. So then Hanna, you would in a regular dance in an hour's time you would do 4 tips or 5.
Yeah, 4.
4, yeah.
And sometimes when you get asked to call a dance, and then you get the flyer, and the flyer says, well, we don't know. Well, the people say we don't know if we will get the dancers from basics, but the flyer says basic mainstream plus A1, A2 in that order. And when you arrive to the dance, you don't really know what level the dancers are dancing. That's really difficult to get ready for a dance like that.
That would be, yeah. And do you call up to A2?
Yeah.
Yep. Super.
Trying.
Yeah. So is there anything else you would like to tell us about? Hobbies? Do you have any other hobbies other than Lars?
Many years ago, I learned how to knit. I don't do it anymore, but I was so fascinated by it that I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I just knitted.
Wow.
And the first thing I did was a vest,
Oh,
but it's this long, if you can see my hands, this long
yeah.
and this short.
Oh,
So it could be used as something around your neck.
yeah.
I was never that good at it, so but it was fascinating.
Oh my. So
Otherwise, I don't know.
do you paint?
I draw,
You draw? Oh yeah. What do you do?
and I
Do you draw
I used
people?
to make, yeah, I used to make that I did from being a child, like in what is it? Clay,
Oh yeah.
figures in clay.
Sculpting, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what about the cows? What's the deal with the cows?
Too many.
Yeah.
It's funny because so I placed the frog in our bathroom many years ago, and a friend happened to see it. Oh, you collect frogs? I didn't say no. So now I have like 200 frogs in the bathroom because everybody thought I was collecting frogs.
Yeah.
So it was a good gift to give when they came to visit. And then we had like one cow in the kitchen, and now we have a lot of them.
Gee. It would be even funnier if you're a vegetarian.
Yeah, it would be. And then I said, well, okay, in the living room we have sheep.
Oh,
And then I told my friends, but in the bedroom we only have one tiger.
maybe we don't want to hear about this.
Well, we don't anymore. We have a lot of tigers.
Oh, you do. I was going to ask
Oh,
Lars
I
how
just
it
assumed
feels
his
to
name
be.
was Lars.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's it feel like to be referred
It
to
was
as a
one of
tiger?
it was one of those things. We really had one tiger, and it was not Lars. But I wasn't thinking when my mouth said it that
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
be understood differently.
Oh my. Well, we
Is
won't
she
talk
gonna call
about.
here kitty kitty kitty? What is it?
Yeah. So
See,
does
maybe
any?
what you should do is put up 100 euro bills in your on your fridge. and then
Good.
people will just give you $100 or 100 euros.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Very good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I collect the money. Good
I like
idea.
that idea.
Anybody else have any questions for Hanna?
We
What
actually,
what color schools did you go to? Have you gone to any?
yeah. I went to my very first college school was with the color Wade Morvant.
Oh yeah,
Wayne
Wayne. Yeah,
Morvant.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it was one of his last ones that he did. And I was very frustrated because I wanted to be just as good as the other guys, and I was not. But then again, they have been calling from 2 to 20 years, and I've been calling for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and I was not, it was not my thing. So I had to work hard at it. And then I went to several others, but in Sweden. So Bengt Gellert was conducting a couple of them. I don't know if you know him. He used to be a accredited color coach.
What was his
Who
name?
was that?
Bengt Gellert. Geleff. Gellert.
Oh no.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's
I
been.
had just assumed that Dave Wilson trained everybody in Sweden
Yeah,
because he lived there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We might not go there.
And then I went to Joe Kromer's school in Germany. You know Joe Kromer?
Joe. Oh yes, Joe. He was just here in Alberta this
Yeah.
last month. Yeah.
He has a brother whose name is Martin Kromer, and they were supposed to do the school together, but then Joe was sick. He ended up in the hospital, so Martin did that by himself, the school.
Oh my.
Yeah. And then we went to Ken Ritucci's school.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was just, 2 years ago, maybe?
Oh.
Oh, in North America, or did you do it, or were you doing it in Europe?
No, in North America.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
his Northeast Color School.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Up in.
He was with Kip Garvey and Bill Harrison.
Oh,
Okay.
excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those guys when they were really good looking. Not to say they're not good looking now, guys. but these guys were like a gym.
Nice, yeah,
They
nice
were like a
recovery,
gymnast
Joe.
teacher might be. Yeah.
That was a good recovery, Joe. I'll give you.
Yeah.
I guess I'm an outcaster. I started calling, or I started dancing in '77, but I didn't start calling until '81. I never went to a caller school per se. It was a local caller in Sacramento. He had a class for eight consecutive Sundays at his studio he owned and we learned the basic fundamentals, and then off into the world we went.
And what was his name?
Roger Morris was his name. He was I guess one of the founding callers in the Sacramento region, and tall, lanky guy, but occasionally he would start a school, no less than 6 students and no more than 10, and we met. He had a dance studio, a warehouse that he owned, and most of it was the square dance hall, and there was a portion that was where his wife ran a clothing stuff. They also had we had our Callers Association meetings there, and Joanne, his wife, would always have on hand all the latest 45s, and we'd go through those records. And then, like I say, we met at his studio for about 8 weeks on a Sunday. Spent the whole late morning till late afternoon there, and then it was ventured out into the world, on the job training. And I did that, and I called about 40 years before I had to step away from it.
Yeah. Well, I think as callers of whatever level or experience we have, we need to keep returning to caller schools. We need to pick the brains of other callers. You know, obviously I think we get a little more specific as to what we're looking for in those respects. You know, I mean, I've done, I guess, 40 or so years of caller schools, teaching and running them, and but I still, anytime we have a caller's clinic or a workshop, and I go, I'm always learning something. And I know I did one recently in Florida, and I learned some things about what not to do,
Yeah.
how not to behave on the mic.
Mm.
So, you know,
We do have caller meetings in our area. Yeah, we do, and we talk about different things. And I always encourage the callers to be themselves on the microphone, because you cannot hide your personality too much. But sometimes I really wish I could say, please be somebody else.
yeah, that's good. That's true. You know, I mean, even with it gets tougher when you get experienced callers who are pretty well known to be able to critique them in a way so they don't think like, well, who are you to tell me? You know, have you got this many dates? Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Some people, like we had a GSI caller school here twice, and I was helping with fixing up for it, and I was asking the callers in our area about coming to the school, and it was free of charge. So it really was not an effort to get people to be interested, until I came to one of them, and he said, "Why should I go? I know everything."
oh my gosh,
And I was like, "Oh gosh."
isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
But you know, what you
But to
need to
tell you
do
the
is,
truth, though, Jack Borgstrom is a really good caller.
Yeah.
I only said that because I just assumed it was Jack who said that.
No, no.
now I'm going to have to edit my darn tapes. Thanks, Brian.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jack is far away from my area. He's in Stockholm, and we are very south, closer to Denmark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've worked with Jack. He's great. I love him. He's wonderful.
But
He's
there are,
very nice.
yeah.
I also remember working with Anders, and Anders was wonderful. But
Yeah.
of course, he's not with us anymore.
No, unfortunately, he's not. Yeah.
Okay. Well, where would you rather be today than here, Hanna?
I did not expect that question.
No, you can't lie.
This is the second time in my life that I got asked something I didn't expect. I can tell you about the first time.
Oh, and you can't tell us about the first time?
I can tell you about it.
Oh, well, do so, yes.
We decided, Lars and me, that we would go to Israel because he has never been there and I wanted to show him. So we traveled there. And they have a very high security at the airport. So they are always asking these questions that I knew by heart. So I prepared Lars for those questions that they will ask. So we are standing at the airport in Israel and we're flying home. And some young people of the security are walking around and asking people questions while we are standing in line. So they came to us and I was prepared for the question, but the question was not what I expected. So they looked at his passport and they looked at my passport and they said, "So what's the connection between the both of you?" And I was not expecting that. So I said, and I was looking for the word in English, like living together, and I couldn't find it, but my mouth said, "Oh, we are lovers." So the young people went red. I went red. Lars was just smiling. And they said, "Thank you." And they moved away to the next victim.
That's good. We need to know those kinds of responses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, Hanna, I think you handled that very well. Yeah,
yeah. Way to
I
escape. That's good.
have to write that down for future reference. If someone asks me, "Well, what do
Well, when I
you?"
asked about your autobiography title, I think Jeff Priest came up with one of the best ones. On his tombstone, he wants to have the words, "I just don't get it."
Well,
That
it's
could be on,
a
could
good
be on a
one.
lot of.
It is a
Yeah.
good one.
Uh, well, I want to thank Hannah for being on today and being gracious enough to accept the silliness that we provide here.
Thank you so much for asking me.
Uh, well, it's great talking to everybody and having Hannah
Thank you
bare her
again for
soul.
asking me.
Yes, yes. And we're going to have a yodeling demo sooner or later. Yeah.
Yeah, I will practice, I promise.
Well, soon is mentioned. What do you call it? Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest is coming up. Yes. Well,
It
it's
is.
this month. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So, you know, you blend in if you go to one of those functions, everybody's yodeling. You just sounds awful, you know.
It's the alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Well,
So I need to
anyhow.
start drinking.
Yeah. Maybe that's my problem is I can't yodel anymore because I quit drinking. Darn.
You see?
We'll work on that. Anyhow.
Right.
Well,
Bye, folks.
thanks for coming on. And oh, by the way, Shauna Carey is not going to be on. She has a benefit. She was committed to that came up. Unfortunately, scheduled at the same time as we were going to have her on, but that's such is life, you know, and you've got to do what you've got to do. So our next caller is a caller of many, many years. Uh, and again, a special personality guy, Ed Foote. Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's a
so
pleasure to watch you dance.
yeah, yeah. And, you know, it's going to be interesting as our, they're all interesting. And then after, he's on the 15th. And then after that, there's another guy that does caller interview podcast, Charlie Patria. And I'm having him on October 29th. It's the last Sunday of the month. Is that the 29th? Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
29th. So that should be interesting too, you know, to share things we do together. We do different, you know, somewhat differently. He's a relatively new caller compared to some of us. But again, he's interviewing callers and getting the best out of them so that we learn a little bit more about these people.
I got
So
name dropped on his podcast this past Friday.
Was it?
He was
Yeah. And
he
who
was
was
talking to Rick Hampton.
Oh, to Rick. Yeah.
yes,
It was.
Yeah. It's interesting to watch those and hear your name sometimes. You know, you don't want to hear it like, yeah. And he was really a snot. Just like, oh darn! I quit. I give up.
And the
Brian,
20
I have a question for Brian. You stopped calling.
Yes.
As mentioned, how long time ago?
So the last dance that I did officially was in March of 2018. I was calling there was the non-conventional convention for Bratislava. I did that. There was a weekend in Bratislava that I did, and what had happened was my son had moved in full time, and so I couldn't just get up and travel anymore because I now had a 15-year-old boy living at my house all the time. Before I had my kids half time, so I had I had a week off every other week, so I could travel when I wanted to. But but for quite a while I couldn't do so. But now my son is 20 years old, and so I can leave him at home alone without any issue. And even my daughter is 17, and she just got her driver's license, so she's able to be on her own too. So a couple weekends ago, I was down in Sacramento doing a weekend, not really a square dance weekend, but I was at a memorial dance for a friend of mine, and I called there. And then I ended up filling in for Kip Garvey. I did his advanced dance and plus workshop. So it seems like I'm probably kind of back in. I'll actually be at Collar Lab in March. So I'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have a mini lab in Europe coming up next year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. You're all welcome.
And where's that going to be?
Germany.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. I remember hearing about that.
October next year.
Okay.
Have you got room for us there, Hanna and Lars?
Oh yes.
Okay. You know,
Sure.
'cause we're cheap. We don't want to have to pay for a hotel or anything, you know.
Well, everyone's just going to go live at what is it, Walt's house?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, well, guys, I'm gonna let you all go, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We have our
So when is the next time?
October 15th.
Okay.
Okay, and that's Ed Foot, and I'll send out a reminder.
Great.
And the
So-
29th, we have a winter daylight saving
Oh,
things
you
here.
do? Oh boy. And it
Yes, we are
goes-
1 week ahead of US.
Okay, which direction do we all go? We fall back?
To
Go
Sunday.
to
Yeah, we fall back.
Okay. So, like in my room, my cell here, I don't have any windows. I don't know what it's like outside, if it's dark or light or whatever.
Hannah, we're going to see you tomorrow, Lemonaders.
well, I will be driving from Denmark, so in the car, yes.
Okay, well, that'll be. Hold still while you're.
Yeah.
Who's driving? You or Lars?
I can drive tomorrow.
Okay, he says he can drive tomorrow, so
Oh, okay.
I can talk.
I don't want
What-
you to drive. Don't you to drive and Zoom at the same time? That's not.
And what time are Lemonaders?
It's
In my
10 o'clock.
in my time zone, Central Time, it's 3. So 3 to
Okay.
1.
Yes.
1.
It's actually the same time as yours.
Yeah. 10
Oh,
o'clock
really?
here in Sweden.
Yeah.
Mine's Mountain.
4
So I'm
p.m.
another hour.
Yeah, for us it's the same time with Lemonaders. Yeah.
It's a
okay.
fun little group. It's just a little. They do a little the calling, and it's a lot of yakketing. So it's
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I'll have to
Hang
see
out.
if I can get on there.
okay. We'll be looking for you.
Well, tomorrow might be pretty busy for me, but
If you're there, you're there.
yeah. Hopefully,
If
hopefully
you're
I
not,
get on.
you're not gonna. Okay.
I'll miss
Anyway,
it.
everybody have a good week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks.
You
Yeah.
too.
Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. See you again. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Då kan vi stoppa recording.